Welcome back to another session of Fractures of Reality. In the last session, we dealt with some slavers, we met a kitsune girl, we rescued the princess, and we saved the day.
We also picked up trash.
Currently, the party is doing a quest for Sessuast, where they had to fulfill 3 trials to get the final piece they need to complete Cricket's goal of getting all of the magical stones. So far, they have completed 2 of the quests. One was a swim in the ocean, and one was to make the ocean happy, which they did by picking up trash themselves, rather than getting others to pick it up for them. Made the ocean happy.
It was worth a shot.
And now, they're currently resting after their long adventure, and working out just how they're going to fulfill the final criteria, which is a gift for Vienna. And that is where you may resume.
Hey. How much time has passed since Charlotte has been in her workshop?
I don't know.
Did we even reassemble Charlotte from her grandma?
Neko?
I believe so, yeah.
It's up to you, Neko.
I'll say about 3 days has passed. Charlotte has not left the workshop by then.
Okay.
Hey, Cicada is gonna go check on her.
Did I ever give back the soul piece to the grandmother? I don't remember.
Yes, she took it back.
Oh, okay.
It was mentioned briefly during the last session, because you weren't here.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Charlotte, you hear a knock on the harp. That is your door.
Or rather, the side of the door. Because there is no door, it's just a tarp.
Charlotte, opens the tarp to peer at Cicada. Yes.
Hey, you've been in there for a few days. How are you doing?
Been busy. Been working on the gift. Is there something you need?
I just wanted to ask about your grandma.
What do you want to ask
This is
about
the
her?
kind of big project that you have been working on this whole. Got it?
Yeah, that's true. I've been working on making that body for her.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't tell us about that.
If you guys cared enough to ask, and honestly, it was my project that involved you guys.
Yeah.
So I
I
never
guess
really
that's
told you.
fair.
Sorry, I didn't mean to sound mean about it. I wasn't trying to hide anything, just I had a goal and I wanted to get it done, and you guys helped me with it.
Yeah, I think I get it.
Well, I'm trying to hide.
Clara comes over. You are eating food though, right? It's kind of important to live.
You can roll an insight. And Charlotte says, yeah, I'm eating.
I'm gonna roll an insight.
Oh, I didn't want you guys to roll 20s.
You told him to roll.
Charlotte, you're slipping. You're slipping.
Yeah, she hasn't been eating well at all. You can probably tell by her own features. She's exhausted.
You know
Clara
what?
is going to kidnap Charlotte and said you should have food. And take her inside.
Charlotte begrudgingly just gets dragged. She's still having a wrench in her hand.
You really need to eat. It's important. Keep your
No.
energy up.
As long as my hands are still working, I have energy.
Clara puts her on the table chair. Just a
Charlotte's
moment. My dad and I will
Charlotte-
make something for you.
Charlotte's head slams on the table instead.
Okay, Clara,
Mm-hmm.
your father looks to you. He places his hands on your shoulders and he says, "You have graduated.
Hooray!
You may now cook unsupervised."
Oh,
Clara's now cooking.
Ada is still going to check on her just in case.
Supervised.
Clara, you have gained proficiency with the culinary's tools. The culinarian tool.
Hooray!
Beautiful.
So just the tools are
You can cook, basically.
okay. I was thinking like the on the feet thing, but I guess I haven't practiced enough to do that.
The what thing?
There was the cook feet thing that, and you said the cicada could like increase her strength score if she did something like some exercise every day or something like that.
Yeah. And you gain proficiency with cooking.
Okay.
Isn't that what you wanted?
Oh yes. The feet also mentioned something about constitution score increase and something else, but
Remind me about it after this session, okay?
okay.
And we can discuss it then. But yeah, Clara, you make food, and there's no issues. It's delicious.
Well, you really improved.
Thanks.
Hey, I go take this to Charlotte. She taps her on the shoulder to wake her up.
Don't scare
Your
me.
food
Don't
is
sneak up.
ready.
Don't sneak up on me like that next time. Charlotte glares and begrudgingly still eats the food. Oh, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Stop.
Charlotte made it. No,
Yeah.
Clara made it. Too many she names.
Oh, that's good. Wait, Clara made it.
Yeah, Clara made it.
Huh.
Without
Yeah,
super...
Yeah, that's pretty good. Thank you.
Welcome. Just remember to eat.
Mm.
Yeah, okay, now that that's sorted, I'm gonna do a bit of yoga again, as I usually do, and also take care of the pets.
The bird yoga. Mom. All right. Well, I'm gonna go back to the gift. Yeah, that's right.
And make sure to eat at least 2 meals a day, please.
Yeah. I'm just trying to make the capacitor for the soul and just whatever, and I'm working on it.
Hey, as long as you don't pass out when you're doing something really, really important.
No, this ain't explosives yet, so I'm thinking we're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, please don't explode things.
No. Charlotte just looks at you. No. Anyway, I'm gonna be right back.
Okay.
Then you hear large construction sounds start up again. A jackhammer suddenly in the distance. Ah, there we go. Second floor done.
Well, at least she's doing better now, right?
Think so. Certainly got her energy back.
That's what food's for. She
Yeah.
says as she claps her hands.
And also the fact that she was unconscious, apparently, the whole time. We were out in the city.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. That's it for this scene.
Okay, well, what do you do now?
I got a question.
Yes.
What happened to Rura and Quax's brother?
Oh, that's fair.
They're
Oh,
still walking
hold
around
on.
the city, Aggie, still telling
Sorry.
her stories.
Sorry, you're getting feedback. Let me turn that down. My bad. Okay, there you go.
Hold on.
Yeah, but Adrian is still walking around the city with her telling her stories after 3 days.
Oh my god.
Did she get to sleep at all?
We don't know.
No. If I wasn't here, Jezebel's definitely gonna try to go help her.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that fixed it. I got a new speaker setup and yeah, I've also got a microphone, so anyway. You find Rura and you know, she's quite tired because she hasn't been getting enough sleep because Ajin's still following her. Followed her into the inn room. Thankfully, she was able to get 5 or 10 minutes of peace when she went to the toilet, but you know, you can only go to the toilet so many times in a day.
So no one killed Ashian. We're just gonna let him keep going roaming about? Really?
I mean, unless Rura wants to kill him.
I mean, Rura wouldn't. Jezebel might.
Well, Jezebel was burning down a slaving empire. She can kill him now if she wants, but you know, he is Corax's brother.
I can fix them.
I have a slightly almost evil idea, but I don't know if I want to be like that.
You deserve
do
to be
I?
everyone deserves to be a little bit evil sometimes, Jezebel.
You're not gonna say that after I tell you the idea. You just
Korax
said
isn't there to tell you. Korax isn't there to tell you no.
True.
Hello.
Okay?
Hello.
I haven't missed much, have I?
No.
Or can cook food?
I'm sorry.
Clara is now proficient with with cooking tools, and Charlotte had lunch.
That all?
And now they're currently dealing with Ajian, who has been tormenting Rura for 3 days straight.
Oof.
Okay.
So yeah, you catch up with Rura.
Catch up with Rura. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but it's gonna be funny. I think maybe. We do it. Yeah, sure. Why not? All right. So
Before you start, I just want you to know this, Jezebel. That kind of mentality is why Charlotte blew up a city, or a castle at least.
I know, but to be fair, as much as Jezebel wants to kill this dude, it's not really her brother. So she has the idea of bringing the brother to the sister to decide. So Jezebel is going to bring Rura and the undead Ashen back to the house. Because his dear sister still wants to see him so badly and make sure he's okay and catch up.
You will find an ajar door to Mercy's Emporium. when you go looking for Korax?
So if it's okay, DM, basically Rua is going to try to convince Ajin to come that his sister wants to see him very badly and she misses him very much, to get him to talk his sister's ear off in place of Rua's. And then let Korax decide his fate.
What's
So,
Adria gonna
if I
gonna say
don't
to
hear
that?
any, if I don't hear any rejections, then Jezebel is going to be walking back towards the house with Rura and the floating Ajin around. Rura definitely looking quite exhausted, but at least has a pleasant smile on her face, while Jezebel's eye is slightly twitching.
Babble, babble, babble. Babble, babble, babble. Babble, babble.
Oh,
She walks over to the group, looks around, doesn't see Korax for a second, but then sees as you claimed, the ajar door, and gives a bit
Yeah.
of a smirk. And she turns to Ajin and goes, Ajin, dear, I believe your sister is there in that shop and is looking forward to talking to you.
oh no.
Oh no. I feel sorry for Mercy.
And Cora.
We are about to ruin our relationship with a merchant who likes us.
Oh no.
So,
Someone else is up here besides Rura.
you sent Adrian into Mercy's shop. To confirm it.
Well, will it?
Yeah, so Korax. Now, if any of you look in, you'll see Korax standing at the counter, or Moonblade on the table, with having been slightly damaged in the last battle. And basically asking Mercy to fix it.
Right. So for 100 gold, since you want this as a rush job, and for that medallion that you've offered as payment, I can get it to
Yes.
you tomorrow.
That will be excellent. And as long as I'm here, Korax also pulls out the broken pieces of Harlequin, the old ice, old ice tongue rapier that Korax used before. Could you fix this too? Sentimental value and all that.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Will that be any extra?
You know what? Because I like you, free of charge. And then Adrian steps in.
Nice of you.
And then Adrian enters.
Cora! Oh, so good to see you. I knew you'd miss me. Of course, you always do. And Korax is, without even looking, Cora X is just going to point at him and cast command. And the command is leave.
Alright, well, he naturally fails the saving throw.
Let me just pull up Adjian's sheet.
It's Adrian. He fails the saving throw naturally. There's no need to roll.
I mean, he would have had a very low chance. He would have had a very poor chance of passing it. But it because he has -1 wisdom.
Yes, I know, but let's just move things along.
Yeah. All right. But anyway, so and then Adjin just like without even missing a beat turns right around and walks back into the room with all of you still talking. So anyway, where were we? Yes. It's my time. It's my time up north, hunting those ice trolls. Blah 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 blah.
Jezebel eye twitches again, and then she looks into the store and to Korax. She goes, Korax, dear, I brought him here for you to decide his fate, not command him to continue talking.
All right. Mercy, okay, I'll be back tomorrow. See you then. And then
Mercy leans forward a bit and says, You know, I do happen to be a lich. I could take that soul off your hands for you.
No.
What?
No, thank you.
Are you sure?
It
I know
explains
how it is, but
everything.
and you this soul will forever give you a headache.
Oh, no, 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 no. I'm not going to be eating it or anything like that. I'm going to be, let's just say, educating it.
Oh dear.
Insight.
Oh,
I don't.
Oop.
Cutting intuition should not be there, but 18.
Let's just say, oh, he'll live.
He'll,
Jezebel,
he'll,
Jezebel,
he'll still be a ghost.
I
what
mean,
kind of-
he is a ghost, and they tend to be a little more durable. But he'll live, sort of. Might not like his life, but he'll live.
Correct, there. He's already dead as it is, and he's going to continue following us to the end of time until one of us or all of us dies. Give it to the lich.
I didn't realize,
Tempting, but I really, really shouldn't.
I didn't realize Mercy was a lich.
I'm gonna be honest. I know you mentioned it at one point, but I had completely forgotten about that detail.
Personally, be possibly in favor as long as he doesn't die.
I'd rather find a way to just make him pass on, to be honest.
Hey,
We do have Ryu.
Yeah, you got. That's what I'm. That's what my family does best.
Well, that's a
Do you
shame.
think you could do it?
Well, I can see you all not interested in the deal, so I'm talking. Chlora, let me finish, please. I can see you are all not interested in the deal, so I'll remove it from the table. But, yeah, good luck with your soul there, and I will see you all tomorrow. Because you're going to be obtaining your swords then, yes.
Yes, thank you very much.
He sort of makes a motion to, okay, now get out of here.
Yep, Korax is on her way out. Okay.
The door closes, and immediately, whoosh, it's gone. No offense to you guys, but Mercy didn't want to be around that soul any longer than he needed to be.
Right. Okay, so all right, Ryu, what have you got?
Clara goes over to Action. Oh, if you guys are okay if I go.
My family and I do come from a family of shrine keepers, and we do have some very effective exorcism techniques, but you're gonna have to be the one to do the really hard part. I'm gonna need you to. I'm gonna need you to distract him.
You sound like as if that's a really hard thing to do, dear. She says that she points to the still babbling idiot.
Yeah, he has still been talking at you all.
No, I don't mean like I know distracting him. I know distracting him. I know distracting him is easy, but considering what you have to do to distract him, that's.
I'm gonna ask
Wait, what kind of
Clara.
distraction are we talking about? Because he's distracted.
Yeah,
right
I'm gonna ask Clara to speak because I know they've been trying to.
Okay. So Clara goes over to Ajin and says, Ajin, I have a important question for you to ask you if you could, stop talking for a moment.
Oh, if you want an autograph, you had only to ask.
That's not the question. My question is, well, the party's just trying to decide what to do with you, and the store lich did offer to educate you and not eat you, of course. Or we could just have Ryu send you home. You have to choose one of those two.
What manner of education in are we discussing here? Is this some sort of place of higher learning he'll be sending me to?
I don't
Yes.
know. The door
This is
kind
what
of shut,
says-
so we're gonna have to wait until we get to the store next time.
No, we don't. Ryu, what is it you need me to do?
I need to. I just need to make sure I just need you to make sure he doesn't either doesn't find out about the ceremony, or doesn't interrupt it.
And how long will this take?
About a minute.
And do you need him to be standing still for it?
No. Trust me. We eat most. The thing about most ghosts is they never stand still. It's all just a matter of keeping them from interfering.
Ryu, just sorry to interrupt you, but Ryu, take a deep breath in and then out. You're stuttering a lot, and I think you need to take a moment to settle yourself. Alright, you may continue now, Corax.
Corax is going to cast a one moment while I check a thing.
While he's checking, Jezebel is just going to roll her eyes and let them do their thing, and then she's going to take a exhausted Rura up inside into the room. She doesn't want any part of this either. She, as long as he's dealt with.
Yeah. I can't do that with minor illusion. All right. Why didn't I take major image? Whatever. But so Corax X is going to say, "Adjun, look," and just point off into the distance. I saw the most magnificent white stag over there. I think it's just within in musket range. And I take it I need to roll deception now.
Yeah, but it won't be a high check.
I figured. Where are you?
Wow.
You know, he might pass that.
There is a possibility, yes.
Ooh.
Let me just... Let's see. Allies. Adrian deceased.
Adrian is an ally?
And then it's inside, which is with...
In
He's
his
in
mind,
the
he probably
allies
is.
and family- He's in the allies and family sections in the NPC folder.
Yeah, so, he rolled a 2.
Ha!
Wow.
So
Wow.
what he does is like suddenly his very shiny, ornate looking musket appears in his hands. He's like, where? And like he's sort of like looking off into the distance where Korax is pointing, just sighting along the barrel, waiting for this magnificent stag to show itself. And then Korax just nods at Ryu.
Okay, so you see Ryu pull out one of the paper talismans that you've seen him pull out in the past. The one, well, a slip of paper with some runes painted on it, and then you see him pull out. And then you see him pull out what looks like a stick with two strands of ends of two strands of carefully cut paper or on the tips. Now, if you if you want to know exactly what it looks like, you could look up Gohei on Google. And he starts doing a slow. He brings the paper talisman and up to his sideways up to his face, and he starts waving the Gohei around in a sort of dance.
Okay.
So,
I like.
what happens for you? How does he pass on?
He how do I describe this?
Well, if you need time to figure out what to say, I can move to someone else briefly.
I can have a talk if you want me to.
I want to save the
It's not that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. You'll continue that conversation. Cicada, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Don't mean to drag you in this, but it takes two to talk.
That's fair.
Do the tango.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Jezebel's taking someone upstairs.
From the looks of it, yeah. That would be
Okay.
Rura.
Oh right, that bird lady from earlier.
Yeah. Bird friend.
Oh, sorry, I actually never seen that kind of race, so couldn't tell you.
What,
But-
Aarakocra?
No, I guess that should be true. Yeah, if that's what they are. Haven't seen many in the city.
That's true. They are not very common.
Yeah, that's the most solid ghost I've seen. There's a lot of others I've seen, but none of them are nearly as solid as he is.
I don't think I've seen any other ghosts besides him.
You haven't? Oh, yeah, I guess you haven't.
Yeah.
I've seen him
So
everywhere.
I wouldn't know the difference.
No. I've seen them a little bit more recently, and most of them are more floating orbs, but they do have voices every now and then. Some are stronger than others.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, Rira has been distracting him, Ajian, for what, almost 3 days?
Oh.
While we were
sorry.
doing the heist.
Oh, that was 3 days ago.
Yeah,
Oh, time has flied.
I feel so bad for her.
I'm gonna speak to Jezebel.
Okay. I'm just gonna be out here doing yoga. And
Don't-
wanting nothing to do with Ajian.
Don't spring a bird feed or whatever. Charlotte comments.
Try my best not to.
Jezebel.
So, like, do a quick thing.
Yeah,
Hold
go ahead.
on.
I'm sorry.
No, with you.
Oh.
Just one sec. I got a text and just. Okay, no, it's not important. Okay, just making sure. I got a text. I just want to make sure it's not too important. So, just as you're about to go up the stairs, Charlotte, Jezebel actually just suddenly appears, almost like a little bit frantic, and like almost runs into you, but like manages to stop, and is like, "Oh, excuse me, dear, I have to get something." And she like kind of scurries around you and heads into the kitchen. And she just starts like frantically like looking through the cupboards for something, and she looks like a little bit like in a rush, and just kind of just throwing things haphazardly, trying to look for something, and she's looking a little frustrated.
What are you looking for?
Wait, you guys talking at the same time. What did you say?
They both said the exact same thing. What are you looking for?
Oh, did they? Jezebel kind of shakes her hand. She goes, I need a basket, like a really like. She kind of holds up her hands, looking almost like unsure, like toddler like basket that you can like fit a baby in.
Is this for the bird lady?
Clara hands Jezebel a basket because she knows the cupboards. No, excuse
Jezebel-
me. I need to reorganize some cupboards.
Jezebel looks to Charlotte. She goes, "One more, dear." Looks quickly at the basket and kind of like snatches it from Clara, like kind of like inspects words it, looks it over, and she goes, "I think this will do for now. Thank you, dear." And then turns around and she goes, "Yes, it is," and then starts to rush up the stairs, answering Charlotte.
Charlotte shrugs and just follows.
Okay.
Once in the room. Sorry.
Oh, okay, good.
Once upstairs, Jezebel kind of leaves the door open, but like rushes inside. And if you follow her, you'll see inside that Rura is laying on the bed, but she doesn't look very good. Not only does she look exhausted, but she also looks very pale for a bird.
Charlotte's standing at the doorway and just leans like inside the room next to the door and just watches for a moment. Didn't know you were a doctor.
Jezebel is like looking through the drawers and like throwing out a couple of shirts, and she goes, "Oh, I'm not." And then she's like, "Oh, I don't have anything." Oh. And then she immediately just takes off her cloak and like starts to stuff it into the basket. And she says, "I'm just getting ready for when Lady Brua is reborn." That's all.
Okay. So she's dying soon.
Jezebel kind of sighs and she just gives a shrug. She goes, "She is a little bit past her years, and I didn't think it was going to be soon. Usually she goes to my mother or one of my other sisters, but she's with me this time. So unfortunately, I had nothing really prepared for that. So I had to kind of improvise."
I understand. Well, I should leave you to it then, because you're gonna look like you're gonna be a little busy for it.
Just a bit. I'm not entirely sure how long it'll take, but if you could just maybe do me a favor, dear, Jezebel says with a bit of a grimace. "Can you get some buckets of water ready? Just a precaution," she says with still a grimace on her face.
Alrighty. Charlotte comments and then heads downstairs to grab some buckets of water from after asking Clara for it, of course. I think the bird lady's a little sick, but Jezebel says she'll be okay.
Okay. Does the kitchen have buckets?
I assume you use something to cook in.
Those are
To boil
pans.
water.
Yes, there's
No,
buckets.
fine.
Okay.
Well, there's a
You
bucket.
know how buckets. You know how a bucket of water.
Okay. And Charlotte heads up and places the bucket near the bed and looks away and starts moving back out.
Jezebel sighs and she says, "Thank you, dear Charlotte." And she walks her to the door and is about to close it, and she goes, "Just let the others know that if they like see like smoke or fire coming from my room. I'll clean it later, but not to come in. It'll still be a bit. Thank you, she says with a smile and then shuts the door.
Charlotte
like
says
a-
nothing. And moves on down.
That's like a Phoenix situation.
Yee.
Anyways, what's happening with Adrian?
Alright, so you ready, Ria?
Okay, so
You good?
so what happens is, oh, I'm fine. Just COVID.
Okay.
And, so, well, after about a minute, Ryu, Ryu, holds the has both has the gohei in both his hands now. Now raises it above his head, and then brings it down. And after he does this, you see Edgian's body. You see Edgian's ghostly body to begin to disperse into a bunch of light embers floating into the sky.
What's this? Why do I feel so calm? I'm gonna have a nap.
And he's gone.
Bitch. Sorry.
So, I just wanted to let you guys know, there is an afterlife that's dedicated purely to hunting and like combat. So that's where Adrian ends up.
Ah.
You-
Okay.
Yep. And well, well, I hope they have fun with him. Thank you, Ryu.
Don't give me too much credit. Don't give me too much credit. I was almost about to make one last remark towards him as a parting gift, but I've been trained to maintain in a melancholy demeanor or at times like this.
Well,
Meanwhile, in the Elf City, upon hearing the news, a certain elf, just cracks open a bottle and just takes a sip and said, she's had a long day schmoozing with the other, elites and, trying to make sure that her connections with the city are fine and, she's not going to lose her hard-earned popularity. And she takes a sip and goes, finally.
Friggin' finally. Friggin' time.
When I was making Korax's family, I kind of expected it Valeth would probably just have a bit part. Nope.
Well.
So, does anyone have anything else they would like to do? Rura,
Yes.
Jezebel, would you like to finish up the scene or?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to react, but I guess I could just go for it. Just a little bit coming out from the window of Jezebel's floor. Y'all can see smoke. A lot of it. Starting to seep out. Before just a second, Jezebel you just kind of see an arm kind of like push it open. So that way all the smoke kind of bellows out. You hear a little bit of coughing, but it seems like Jezebel's in there.
What? Huh? Fire? There's a fire?
Wait, what?
Korax is already halfway up the stairs.
Jezebel!
You just hear a voice. You see more smoke coming kind of from under the door a little bit, but not as much
Charlotte?
as it.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you a bit. Charlotte, you are muted. in case you wanted to say something.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
Do you want to say something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, oh, I guess there is fire in there. Neat.
Isabella's up there. Oh my god. Ah!
No, that's definitely a lot more fire than one bucket to handle.
Ah! Cora, you got buckets of water, right? You need-
I've already sent the only bucket of water I have up.
We're probably gonna need more. I'll take a pot even.
Korax is already walking into Jezebel's room with an ice spell ready.
Chlorophyll the pan is coming.
Alright, thank you.
Pot.
Yeah, the room is not locked, so you get in pretty easy, and just all the smoke that starts to come out. You hear a little bit of coughing in between, and it's definitely coming from Jezebel, and she's like on the floor trying to pat some of the fire down because it's not everything's on fire. But there's little pieces of fire, but it's mostly seems to be converted from her bed. So she's like trying to put a blanket out, trying to put some of the like on the floor. She's already like kind of covered in smoke and soot. And she's like, "Oh, okay, that was more than I thought. Oh dear."
Phil, are you okay?
Jibble kind of wipes her face a bit, and then she looks over. She goes, "Oh, hello, dears. Yeah, it seems I needed more than one bucket of water. I thought one was going to be enough, and I asked dear Charlotte to give me one. It wasn't enough."
I got more. Hold on.
Korax
Ah!
just starts firing rays of frost at it.
Oh, easy, easy. Jezebel says that she actually scoots the basket that she asked Chlor for just a little bit away from the line of fire, so to speak.
Cicada has the pan of water on her and tries to put out the rest of the fire with it.
Once the fire is put out, Jezebel's bed and the sheets are like completely ruined, and parts of like Jezebel's clothes are also a little bit tattered and ruined. Not that the fire bothered her, but it, yeah. So she just, once it's like all out and some of the smoke is cleared out, she just like sighs and she's like, "Oh dear, definitely was not prepared for this. I am so sorry, dear. I did not mean to cause this. Well, we didn't mean to cause this. I really do apologize."
What happened?
Where's Rura?
"Ah, yes," Jezebel says as she just gives a small nervous smile. "Never quite explained this very well. And to be fair, she has not been reborn. When I've been around, this has actually also been my first time. Because usually my mother deals with this. I'm not around for it. Lady Rura died," she says with a casual smile.
I take it this isn't that serious of a thing, or else you'd be a lot sadder about it.
Difficult to explain if you're not aware of what Lady Rura's wish was. But also, yes, it's not completely a bad thing. She just kind of just shrugs and then turns around, reaches down, pulls up the basket, and then kind of lowers down her cloak a bit. And inside the basket, you see a little baby Aarakocra.
Ah, I see.
Oh my god.
So
Hold on, let me get
Korax.
this. Let me get all this smoke out. She starts using prestidigitation to blow it out the window.
So what I'm getting from this Korax is that your brother killed someone.
Jezebel kind of frowns
Would-
now as she looks to the little.
Wouldn't be the first time.
"No, I suppose not," Jezebel says as she tucks in the little baby Aarakocra who's fast asleep.
But, well,
"Please tell me you dealt with him. If not, I will."
He's gone.
Like gone, like you did the job, or he just left and
we
is
did the
still
job.
wandering.
I sent him off. No, I sent him off to a better. I sent him off to a better place where he can be. He he can be as talkative, loud and talkative as he wants to be without consequence.
In other words, he's gone.
Good. Good. Because Lady Rua, in her slightly older age than she was supposed to be alive for, definitely felt that exhaustion. And it did definitely take its toll on her. So, good. Because if not, then I definitely would have killed him. Again.
So how often does this happen exactly?
Isabel gives a shrug and she just adjusts the basket in her hand and she goes, usually it's if Lady Brewer reaches a certain age that she cannot be healthy or if she sustained enough injuries. The wish that she was granted, compared to her friends, your ancestor, she points to Kagura, as well as others
Ryu.
like my father. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Ryu. Others like my father, like that, who made wishes of their own to be gods. Lady Rura chose something else instead, and that is to be reborn like the phoenix.
Huh?
Hmm.
So that
Poetic.
explains the fire.
Yes, she wanted to dedicate her life to protecting the steel dragons, but
All
she
of them.
knew
All of
as
her
best as
lives, evidently.
Jezebel nods in confirmation, but she knew she would not be able to live long enough. So she made a wish that allowed her to, when her life ends, she can be reborn.
Sounds like it's like a series of short stories I've read once.
They very well should be. You have the book, don't you? She gives a smirk.
No, not the journal. Well, there's this peculiar series of books back at the library in the village. It's about a man who can travel through time to solve various anomalies, and every time he dies, he's reborn as or with an entirely different appearance and personality. It's it's quite bizarre.
Doctor Who reference.
Isabel kind of giggles and she goes, well, Lady Rua did love books. She also loved stories of the Phoenix itself. She would tell my mother this story very often. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe somebody heard of her story or at least something similar and created literature like that.
So,
But yeah, so
I have a continue.
no, go ahead.
Okay, I have a question. Does she remember all of those previous lives?
Isabel gives a soft smile and she just nods. Yes, she does.
Huh. Okay then.
This is why my family and I dedicate to helping her out. When she's like this and reborn, she still has her memories, but she is not as capable as she could be as her older self.
And now she's a baby again.
Isabel nods and then she goes, isn't she adorable?
She is very adorable.
So, so ideally, this happens maybe once every several decades.
Pretty much. Like I said, I'm not usually around when she is reborn. Majority of Aerococrus, as you know, I've done my homework, of course, live to be maybe about 30 years old. To my knowledge, I believe Lady Rura, before she died just a couple minutes ago, Jezebel grimaces again, saying that, was maybe about, I believe she told me she was 40.
That's impressive. That's quite impressive for an Arakocra.
Yeah, so you can kind of imagine this exhaustion did get to her. I mean, I had a feeling it would be soon because she did seem a little over the usual limit. But this seemed to be the last straw. It's just this time, though, she was not able to return back to the village, your village, dear Foxy, or to my mother. So she's here with me.
Well, at least she's with someone, at least someone who can, who knows how to handle this.
Well enough. Like I said, this is the first time she's ever been reborn when I've been around. May have to send a letter to my mother soon, or maybe even tell my father about this. But for now, sorry about the mess. She kind of motions around to herself and then the whole room that's now been singed.
Ooh. Okay, we can clean. We'll help clean it up.
It's fine, dear. It's technically my problem, but I do appreciate dear Charlotte at least bringing that bucket. I did not think it was going to be that big of a flame, but at least I managed to get it just in my room. Good enough, I guess. She grimaces again and then
Yeah.
just puts the blanket over the little baby Arcraca to allow her to sleep.
Yeah, I was scared you had actually set something on fire.
Would be something dear Charlotte would do, not me.
Ooh.
Looks it.
Right.
I'm gonna. All right. I'm gonna forward all this over to Alex. So maybe he can. He can tell Kagura, and neither of them will be wondering why they haven't heard from her in a while.
Probably a good idea. The River's Wish does also allow her to slightly age a little, just a tiny bit more quicker than we do, but it will take a while until she's back to her more talkative age. I guess we'll put it that way.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, I'm sure that.
Considering she is
Well,
a baby.
I'm sure they've both been through this enough times to know exactly how long they'll have to wait before they can hear from her again.
I sure hope so.
What do we do with her now?
Oh,
Do
I'll
we just
definitely.
take care of her?
Well, of course. More than likely, she'll be sleeping for a bit because she was technically born. She kind of slightly quotations with the basket in her hand. But she should be waking probably in a little bit, unless, of course, maybe somebody comes to get her or even takes her to Ryu's village. But for now, she'll stay with me.
Okay. You can see Cicada is a little. She's kind of looking down at her a little bit. Can I hold her?
Isabel kind of like looks surprised, but then just kind of gushes. She goes, "Oh, Cicada, you like her too?"
Yes.
Of course,
I-
dear.
I've never held a baby before. This is gonna be new.
Isabel grins and then just slightly holds the basket after her. She goes, "Don't worry. Just mind the head and the wings. Now
Yeah,
that you have
okay.
wings, her wings are just as sensitive as yours."
Yeah. I'll be very careful, I promise.
And so, while Cicada is carrying the baby, Charlotte finishes the final touches to the thing she was making.
Charlotte steps out of the lab with a decent sized device for her size, but being a small creature, it's about half her size in general, and she's trying to carry it properly. All right, I'm done, guys. Let's head back.
Do you head inside the building?
Where's everybody?
Uh, they're inside looking at. They're inside holding the new arrival, as it were.
Okay. I'm guessing it's the bird.
It's the bird.
Okay.
But as long as I've got you here, do you take requests?
I can.
Do you do plate armor?
Depends on the request of the plate armor, but I do work with metal mainly, and I do with armor. Yes, I made the shell of the robot earlier.
Good. And could you make me a decent set of half plate? Could you make me a decent set of half plate?
I'll have to get your measurements and what do you want out of it? You want it magical? Yeah, you gotta give me a little more information here, Corax. Come on.
Well, I mean, honestly, like my measurements I can do, but as far as fun stuff I can do, like what have you got? Whatever it is, it needs to be something I don't need to attune to.
No attunement, so I'll give you details a little bit later, but I can definitely discuss that with you.
Yeah.
I can probably make a little bit stronger in defense, but we'll have to see.
Indeed.
Are you just looking for just the plate?
Half plate.
Half plate, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. I'm hoping to get this delivered properly, and can you help me with it, actually? It's pretty heavy.
Sure.
And don't worry, it's not going to explode this time.
I'm glad to hear that.
So,
And
everyone spends about, we'll say, half the day either attending to the baby or getting the measurements for Corax or doing their own thing. And around lunchtime, you all come together to discuss the gift for Vienna and getting in contact with Specialist. Yeah. So, in fact, you've noticed that the crowd that was at the port has cleared up. There is no longer a large crowd there.
So, who's gonna watch the baby while we're out?
Well, it's
Oh,
not
I'm bringing
like,
her with me.
Oh,
That's a terrible idea.
and it's not like the baby is actually like a child. It's an adult, so they can be left unsupervised. They just can't do anything. If that makes sense.
I was gonna say Jizzle walks around with like a river wrapped up in like one of those little like baby wraps.
Sure, you can do that if you want.
baby bird.
I mean, it's not like as if she's having a real peek out of like the wrap. She has her wrapped up pretty good and then like tied around where she's like in front of her chest. And then got a new cloak and it's underneath that. So she's kind of hiding her underneath there so nobody can see.
Either way, the port is now free of the crowd. You guys have Charlotte's thing, which would you describe what the thing looks like, Charlotte?
sure, it's a spiritual object. It looks like an egg shape almost, but it has a hatch in the center of it and an output as of like a external furnace type deal at the very top of it. But the core of it looks like just a raw egg. And it's all like new types of metal that makes it almost look way too futuristic for anything Shaw was able to do beforehand. It looks like even with the sand makes it like doesn't even brush off of it properly. It's just doesn't even take in any kind of dirt. And Charlotte just hums happily, trying to carry this oversized object. This again is about almost as big as her, a little bit like way over half for sure now. But
Clara's going to make a futile attempt to assist.
Well, fortunately, you have a dragon that can help you carry it.
Oh yeah, Elnay.
No.
I have Shiva.
Diva. Okay, never mind.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mecha dragon.
Yeah.
But yeah, You guys make your way to the port, and everyone is all abuzz about how they got to talk to Sashalas and how he agreed to help them with their thing, and how he's so cool and he's so great, and how he's just the best god, and you know, yada yada blah yada yada blah.
I think we're starting to get a bit of a reputation in here.
And as for Clora, you can see that one of the fishermen is actually Sashalas. He's just sitting there fishing casually.
Okay. So you guys can party over there. Trying not to blow his cover immediately again.
Okay.
So, you guys
Do some fishing.
go on.
Charlotte walks over and pokes his shoulder and then sits down. I got it for you.
Oh, you did? Well, he moves to stand up and then gives a nod and motions toward a boat that just conveniently appears and no one questions it and says, "Alright, well, get on the boat and we'll go out to sea a little bit where, you know, they're not going to notice we're doing weird things."
It's weird that a
Okay.
boat just appeared in front of us, but sure.
It works for me.
Alright.
Moves the objects and Shiva onto the boat.
The boat, despite probably not normally being built to handle Shiva's weight, handles it fine. It doesn't even really sink it into the water at the weight.
Magic.
But yeah, you guys hop on the boat and you sail about, I'd say, 30 minutes out. And you go to about, we'll say, yeah, probably around this place, little island here. And Sashalas will then breathe in and then say, "Alright. Fiona, are you there?"
And 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 there is, you all hear a crack of thunder. As just like a swirling vortex of dark magic slams into the water next to right next to the boat, and Vienna is just floating there, looking maybe just a little bit more sinister than you remember her.
All of Cicada's feathers are rumpled.
Jezebel clutches a little bundle closer to her chest under her cloak.
So Vienna now has 8 spider legs coming out of her back.
Are you okay, Vienna?
Never better.
So you enjoyed the spider legs then?
Oh, I'll figure out a way to get rid of them eventually.
So, Sashalas will nod to Vienna, like unbothered by her appearance, and he will motion towards Charlotte and say, "I got you a birthday gift."
For me? You shouldn't have.
I really shouldn't have, but got it anyway. Charlotte, would you like to present the class?
Alrighty, Charlotte then motions over to the object in question. It is currently on a stand at the moment. However, Charlotte would actually grab something invisible to most people, except for maybe Clora, which was an artificial soul. She puts it inside the astral device by opening the hatch, as it hums to life shortly after. And out on the exhaust pipe was raw magic coming from it. I found a way.
Hello.
I made a device that turns in life force into astral magic.
Interesting.
Can be used for many things, but whatever spells and issues you may have, which I highly doubt, well, now you got another way of fueling them.
A fine gift, young artificer.
Appreciate the compliment. Takes a lot for what I learned.
Specialist will then nod and say, well, feel free to take your gift. See you around.
Don't be a stranger. And the void and the maelstrom of dark magic swirls back up. Vierna and the gift are both gone.
See you for the yearly game.
Of course.
Specialist.
Vierna, go bad with power? No.
She looks a lot scarier since last time I saw her.
I will whip up a new picture of her
Specialist.
at some point.
Specialist turns to you, Cicada, and just says, no, it's fine. And then he brings his hands together, and when he opens them, the final jewel you've been waiting for is in his hand. Well, here you go.
Oh, thank you. We very
Cora.
much appreciate the help.
Clara takes the stone and puts it on Cicada's staff.
Specialist.
That seems to.
Specialist then gives you a nod and says, well, this boat will take you back to shore. See ya.
All right.
And then he just sort of steps off the boat and his body sort of becomes transparent for a moment, and then he just becomes a bit of a puddle of water that splashes and joins the ocean.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
seemed to like her gift.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And we got the final stone. All right.
So-
We're gonna head back now.
You all head back, and you head back to Cricket's home. The boat, once you guys are all on land, mysteriously vanishes. Like no one even notices. Well, no, there was one guy that noticed. He had a foil helmet around his head, and he's like, "Oh yes, I can use this."
Oh no.
You do know magic exists, right?
Oh yes.
Okay, just checking.
Anyway, you all head back to the place, and Cricket is outside waiting for you.
Cricket. We got it. We got the last jewel.
He moves to reach out and take it from his staff, and he says, "Yes, you have."
You know, so Cricket, I'm beginning to understand your concerns about Vierna.
He sort of stares at you for a moment, and I want you all to roll perception.
Okay. Perception.
Perception.
Alright, so Charlotte sees it. And it looks like just Charlotte sees it, yep. Alright.
Only Charlotte.
Corax isn't even really looking at him. She's just.
Okay, so Charlotte and Ryu, you see Cricket's eye twitch. And he simply says, right. He turns
That's
back.
the most emotion I've ever seen from him. Charlotte comments.
Shush. Alright. Sorry if I'm interrupting you guys. I'm a bit over the place at the moment. So,
You good?
I get it.
he looks to you, Cicada, and then he looks to the stone which is in his hand as it slowly sinks into his claw and vanishes. He kneels down and places a hand on your head. I am very proud of you.
She's blushing. So, what happens next?
He breathes in, and then he says, "What happens next is I say goodbye."
Wait, what?
I want you to know, Cicada, that I do care for you. You are my daughter, and I will always be with you in your
Do you mean you're... Are you going somewhere, or...
thing about elder gods is they technically do not exist. We are eternally dreaming. And we must always stay eternally dreaming, in between existence and non-existence. Otherwise, the world will end. It is for that reason that to defeat my brother and fulfill my part of the pact, which was to save you, I too must return to the sleep, eternal slumber. Put it simply, I will cease to exist.
And there's nothing we can do to change that?
He shakes his head.
She lowers her head down. And she says, I sort of knew something like this would happen from all the hints. But, Cricket, you are my first best friend. I'm gonna be sad if you're gonna leave.
I would like permission to hug you.
Aw.
She doesn't even hesitate. She hugs him.
He wraps his arms around you, and then he says, I will always be with you. In your powers. In your dream. But it is time for both me and my brother to go back to sleep.
Thank you for everything.
No. Thank you. And then he vanishes. Blink and you miss a moment. The second he's there, the next, it's gone.
She falls to her knees and she starts to tear up.
Clara administers hugs.
She doesn't say anything.
Isabel also goes beside her and kind of kneels down on one knee and places a hand on the top of her head and gives as comforting scratches as she can. With a comforting smile and says, "You'll be in your memories, Cicada. At least you won't forget them. They do stay in some customs that when you remember somebody, they continue to live."
I know. It doesn't make it any easier, though.
Of course not. The pain will always be there, but that too can also be a memory.
Okay.
And with that, we're going to end the session here.
Oh.
Oh, was there something you wanted to do?
Yeah, if it's okay.
Go for it.
He's not gone.
What kind of looks over to Charlotte, curious. Come again, dear?
He's not gone. I stated what I said. There's a way to bring him back. Even if it's not as strong as it used to be. I'll figure it out. Because I owe him one.
Jezebel sure does look surprised and then just glances to Cicada.
Would that even be right, though? He said it himself. If he wakes up, the world will end.
I know
And
he
we'll
said
be
that.
right back where we started.
He's been staring at that fireplace, Cicada. For as long as we known him, most of our lives. Or at least in this place here with all this together. That's where he's been doing. He's been thinking how to say it to you. You really just wanted it to end like that? Are you okay with it just ending like that?
Oh, of course not.
Don't give up. It's not over. Charlotte actually looks rather furious as she clenches her own fist. There is a way. I just need time.
Isabel kind of narrows her eyes a little bit and she goes, "It depends on what that method is going to be, dear. You've already worked yourself to exhaustion before, and this is also Cicada's decision."
This is why I'm saying it, Jezebel. Do you want it to end here, Cicada?
I need time to think it over.
And then Charlotte leaves.
All right. Then with that, then we'll wrap up this session here. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you for the last final episodes next week. And I present to you the ultimate plot twist. There is no plot twist. Bye bye!
What? Okay, bye.
No!